Welcome, everybody. Just going to wait a couple more seconds here. Thanks, Barb, Jim, for joining. Luann, awesome to have you on the webinar. Awesome. Still got some more people joining. Just a couple seconds here, and then we'll dive right in. So our goal tonight is to keep this webinar probably between 25 and 30 minutes, no longer, but I think you're going to get a ton out of it. All right. So a couple years ago, I got invited to go camping. And as a family, I've got 2 young kids, and we've never been camping before. So I went up to my son, Link, and I said, "Hey, Link," I said, "we got invited to go camping this weekend." He's like, "Oh my gosh, Dad, I'd love to go camping." So about an hour later, he comes up to me. He says, "Hey, Dad," he goes, "do you think you can sleep with me tonight and we can act like we're camping and practice for the weekend?" And I said, "Sure, buddy." So about 8:30 is his bedtime. We go up to his bedroom and fall asleep. I blew up my air mattress. So 12 o'clock rolls around. I get woken up by Link, shaking me, going, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I'm scared." And I'm thinking, what in the world is going on? This never happens usually. I said, "You're fine. Go back to bed." Hour later it goes. Link, he wakes up again. "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I'm scared." I'm like, "You're fine, Lincoln. Go back to bed. I'm trying to get some sleep here." Finally, the third time rolls around. He shakes me. It's like 2:30 in the morning. He's crying, got big, huge tears, crocodile tears in his eyes. "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, I'm scared." I said, "Lincoln, go back to bed. I'll protect you." And that little guy fell asleep for the rest of the night because he heard those words that I would protect him. And the reason why I share that with you tonight is because I think about our business and all we do is retirement planning. And you folks listening to this webinar have spent the last 30 or 40 years of your whole entire life saving money for retirement. And now's the time. You may be listening today and you're getting ready to retire. You may be forced retired. You may be retired. And it's our job to build a plan for retirement and protect you. It just makes sense to me. So you may have joined this webinar because you're worried, you're concerned, uncertain times. You may not have a plan at all, and you're trying to get some ideas on what in the heck should you be doing right now in times like this. I know the markets come back, which is awesome to see from where it was down at 18,000 points. But we're going to share with you tonight and give you an opportunity to learn a little bit and take some action on your financial life. So I have Tracy and Steven with me tonight, helping me on the back end. And what's cool about doing these webinars is we're so used to doing face-to-face before what happened in this recession and this pandemic hit. So now we're doing webinars and connecting with tons of people and having that opportunity. So let's jump on into the PowerPoint and get it rolling. Awesome. Perfect. All right. So the first picture, we just love to share this picture of our lovely team we have working for us. I always say, if we didn't have a team working for us here at our office, I don't know where we'd be. So you talk about service and talk about hard work. That's all about our team, which is awesome. This is just a disclosure. We'll buzz through this real quick. And really, we're going to talk about really 3 ways to help take back your financial future. And we're going to keep it short. We're going to keep it sweet. And today, you're going to have the opportunity to schedule a 15-minute phone call with me at my office, my dad, my partner, a couple other advisors we have here. If you have questions, you have concerns, you're worried, just what I said at the beginning, we're going to give you the opportunity to schedule a call to see if we can help you. And we're going to give you some really neat nuggets today that you need to be thinking about if you're getting ready to retire or you are retired. So you're going to see this 15-minute logo or this 15-minute schedule call here come up on the screen. And we've opened up quite a bit of slots to handle all of the calls. And we're getting a ton of feedback and a ton of calls from people trying to figure out what should they do next. They see this market that has come back the way it has, and now that they see their accounts grow a little bit back, now they're saying, okay, what should I do now? So let's keep moving. All right. So if you think about it, this may be you. You may be sitting at home. You may be sitting watching this webinar going, what should I do? Where do I go? How do I go from here? So let's jump on in. Okay. So today's agenda is going to be short, just so I said, and sweet. We're going to talk about where are we right now and how in the world did we get there? Okay. We're going to talk about where do we go from here after what happened? And what can you do to help take complete control of what you have going on right now? Okay. So the question number one, where are we right now and how did we get here? Well, we all know what happened here in March with this pandemic and this virus. And I think people are almost kind of sick of it because we've been told what to do, and we all listened. We went in our houses, and now we kind of want to figure out. You almost see the activity driving around. There's so many more cars on the road. But let's talk about how in the world we got here. Okay, so obviously we knew a pandemic started in China, right? And what happened? As soon as that happened, the market started to react, and everybody got scared, and everybody started to sell. I mean, we saw literally a 13% drop in the stock market in one day. And everybody remembers this. I'll never forget, especially we're in this business of just thinking about what in the world is going on. Is this going to be like the Great Depression? You kept on hearing that. Wow. And the market's up 1,000, down 1,000. What crazy volatility we're going through. And in just 22 days, the market dropped 30%. That's a ton, and we had no idea when it was going to end. We're just very thankful it did. Okay. So we like to compare this stage to the market dropped as fast or the fastest ever, like the Great Depression when the market dropped 89%. Well, in just 22 days, the Dow dropped over 35%. You talk about scary. To put that into perspective, if you are a retiree and you may be listening today and you have $1 million account, losing 30% is $300,000 of your hard-earned savings. Just in a matter of 22 days gone. Never to know if it's ever going to come back the way it should. Now, obviously, we've had a heck of a rebound, which is awesome to see. But where do we go from here is the most important thing, and we're going to help you with that tonight. Okay? What else are we seeing, right? People are concerned. People are worried. We talk about unemployment. Nobody's working. You think about 20% unemployment. I mean, the fortunate thing is with the stimulus package is people that are unemployed some of them are making more than they did when they weren't. Okay. So this money is still flooding the economy and what's causing the market to grow like it is right now. But what's scary is what happens when the stimulus does run out? What do we do? What happens in the market? We want you to be prepared for that. Okay. You talk about hotels. I know for me, we had a couple trips planned. And you listening today probably had some trips planned. And guess what? They all got canceled. We can't fly on airplanes. You can't stay in hotels for the most part. And hopefully that does open back up. And think about how much that attributes to our economy. 1.4 billion a week we spend on hotels, airlines. Think about how much the economy is losing out of that hasn't even hit the market yet. Okay. Then we talk about, airlines, like I just said. They got a $50 billion bailout, but guess what? They're estimated to lose over $250 billion in 2020, just the airlines alone. Think about how much money that is in our economy and how many people that are working for them. So what I'm trying to tell you is let's be sensible. Let's be cautious. Let's understand where we're at in this economy. Yes, we're pumped that it's grown back, but let's be cautious. Let's make sure we've got a plan going forward that we know where we're at today and where we're going. We're not making rash decisions. Okay. You talk about retail. Okay. No one could shop. No one was going to the malls. You had to do everything online. I tried to order some stuff from Dick's Sporting Goods. It wasn't open. I couldn't even get anything shipped to me. Especially, I used to work out at a gym here in Green. All the gyms are closed. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? I need to work out. and I've got no equipment. Where do I order it? I couldn't even find anything to even order. That was all sold out. So I had to get on Facebook Marketplace and spend a bunch of money just to work out at home. So you may have been one of those people that are in the same boat as me. You think about retail, that's roughly 25% of the GDP shut down, closed. Now, obviously, Amazon and Walmart and grocery stores still were able to sell, and you're noticing if you're following any kind of stocks that those grew quite a bit. But it's what happened when you think about the old school companies that we think about. J.C. Penney, now really they're getting rid of 800 stores. J. Crew, all just to name a couple that are really going to go out of business for good. So this is going to come down the pipe, and we want to make sure our clients are ready for it and you're ready for it. Okay. Question number 2, where could we go from here? All right. Pretty simple. You can ask 5 different people what in the world is going to happen next. I watch every morning. I get up at 5:15 in the morning. I put on the business channel. And I love to listen to economists and money managers talk about what's going to go on with the market. One's going to say, hey, we're out of the woods, right? Which is encouraging. The next guy will say, sell. Right now it's a good time to sell. We're not out of the woods yet. So you can ask really anybody, your neighbors, your friends, your aunts, your uncles. No one has any idea what the market's going to do. We just don't. Okay. One thing we do know is there is going to be volatility ahead. Think about this year, election year, right? What happened in 2018 at the end of the quarter there? The market dropped 17%. Remember that in October? We always know Octobers are really bad. Well, there's an index you may have heard of or may not have. It's called the VIX index, called VIX. It gauges the volatility in the market. So since 2000, okay, this kind of gives you an idea of what kind of volatility is in the market. So non-election years, the daily average is 19, but look at the election years, 23.2, okay? These are just crazy numbers, but just to give you an idea, if you aren't prepared for what could come ahead with this election year, and you're not prepared with the risk you have in your portfolio, you have no plan, today is the day for you to take action. Tracy's going to put that 15-minute schedule a call with one of our calendars on here for you to say, hey, you know what? I want to see how they can help me, how they build a plan for retirement. I think that is very, very important. Okay. So you think about March 27th, that date. Okay. And I think about that date for myself, and it probably means nothing to you, but that's when the CARES Act, that's when those stimulus packages were passed. Okay. Some of you folks listening today, you may have gotten $1,200, or if you're married, $2,400. If you own a business, you got some payroll protection. That really helps stimulate the economy. You may be a landlord and have some rentals, and I pray that you did get rent. But you think about that, they flooded $2.2 trillion into the economy, right? We're already $24 trillion in debt. Now we add another $2 trillion, and now they're trying to pass another $3 trillion. What could that happen? What could happen with our taxes? So if I could ask you and poll with you, everybody listening right now, do you think taxes are going up, or do you think taxes are going down in the future, especially with all the spending we have going on, right? I think most people would say they're going up. Okay. Awesome. Another thing to think about, we talk about unemployment and what could happen in the next quarter, especially with all the stimulus money phasing out unless they pass again. What could happen to the job market? Will these jobs ever come back again? We need to be cognizant of that and make sure we're prepared in our portfolio and set up for the good times and the bad times. That's the most important thing. Okay. You talk about recession. And, generally speaking, a recession has been thought of a significant decline in, general economic activity, recognized as 2 consecutive quarters of economic decline. Well, now they define a recession as a decline in economic activity spread across the country lasting more than a few months. So if this goes on, God forbid another outbreak happens, what could really happen? Could a recession really hit? Think about this. Prior to February, we were all flying high. The market was as high as ever was, and this happened. So what scares me is, what else could happen going forward? We just want to be prepared for it. We are positive. We believe we are going to overcome this, but we just want to make sure you and our clients are prepared. Okay. Another indicator we like to look at is interest rates, right? Well, if you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're refining a house, maybe your kids are, wow, interest rates are extremely low right now. I got a really good client that owns a mortgage company. He said where the 10-year treasury is, where they gauge interest rates, interest 30-year mortgages should be at 2.25% right now. Well, they're still at 3 to 3.25, but in the next month or two, you could see at 2.25 interest rates. And once that happens, you'll see if we do really hit a recession, interest rates start escalating, which could be a big problem. Okay. Keep going here. So what's highly probable? I think you all could agree with me. Continued volatility, right? We're up one day, we're down one day, right? For sure. Increased taxes. Are we going to have increased taxes with all the money we're spending to stimulus? You better believe it. We're probably going to. I mean, think about it. We had a tax cut a couple of years ago, which is really hard to believe for some folks. At some point, they're going to increase our taxes. Rising unemployment, scary. Recession fears and rising interest rates. So question number 3, how can you take complete control? Sorry, I had to get a little bit of water there. Okay. No matter what. So let's dive in. Okay. Let me ask you the question. And I think about this when I put this slide up there. In times of crisis, are you, right? Or do you freeze, panic, let things happen? Are you one of those people? I know you're thinking right now. Or do you step aside, collect yourself, formulate a plan in all aspects of life, whether it be your finances, what you have going on in retirement? I think about me. I think once something happens to me, at first I do that freeze, panic. Oh my goodness, I should just freeze and just let it roll, right? Instead of, all right, here's a situation I'm in. I'm going to collect myself. And I'm going to formulate a plan. Well, this is good news for you folks that are joining the webinar. See, number 2, we're going to help you step aside, collect yourself, and formulate a plan. Think about it. You're already joined this webinar to do so, right? You've already joined. You've already taken a little step to figure out what should I be doing next, which is awesome. All right. We all need to think about, everybody probably watches the news and listens to the media, whether we trust them or not. We almost say, you know what, whoever you listen to or watch, who do you trust, right? Okay. But one thing we need to really be thinking about, okay, is we need to plant our heels in the 3 things we can really do right now that can really affect what our portfolio is doing and what we need to be doing to building a plan for retirement if you don't have one. See, most folks that come in to see us have an investment statement. Okay, that's all they have. They have no real plan. They have no income plan, and we're going to talk about that. But they really have no plan in general on what they're going to do for the rest of their life. Because most folks that come into us ask us one simple question. Am I going to be okay? With a big question mark. Are we going to be okay? Do I have enough money for retirement? Is my money going to last? That is the most important thing. So the first thing we want to talk about is determine your continued risk, right? Right now, you have a really good idea on how much risk is in your portfolio. You just saw in March a 30 to 35% decline in the overall markets. How much did you lose in your portfolio? How scary was it? How do you reposition that to take a part of some of the upside, but protect your downside too? That's really important. But first, you need to figure out what kind of risk you have. Okay. So everybody recognizes this guy on the screen right now, right? Warren Buffett. Okay. One of the richest men in the world. And he has so many good quotes. If you think about it, I watched a documentary on him when I was flying. I forget where I was, and I watched a 2-hour documentary of how he started with nothing and how he created this. But the reason why he had really 2 rules. Okay. Rule number 1 is never lose money. And rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. How funny is that? So his idea was when he invested into a company, I mean, think about this. He's the guy that owns a Geico or Berkshire. He runs the Berkshire Hathaway. He owns Geico, a bunch of different, Pampered Chef, a ton of different companies that he can buy, okay, or that he has bought. And because he makes a ton of money on buys them low and then, and then they grow. So, and the reason why he built such a mass net worth is his rule was never lose money and never forget rule number 2. You need to be thinking about that in your portfolio in retirement. Okay. You think about the losses in your portfolio. We're going to go through a little snapshot on what it means, to lose money. And let me stress that during this time with all of our clients, we were on the phone, obviously in contact with all of them all the time, whether it be a video of Zoom, a phone call. And it really wasn't because they were scared or they were in fear, but reassuring them that we built a plan for them for times just like these. And it was literally, probably, in my opinion, some of the best phone calls I've ever had with clients, of real phone calls going, I'm so glad we came to you, because in times like these is what really matters most to us, making sure we keep our money forever. And that's really the most important thing at our firm, is because our goal is for you to keep your money and not lose a ton of it. And there's ways to do that, but it's building a plan first. So if you take a peek, I want to give you a little example on if thinking about how money works and how you lose money, how you make money. Well, here's a hypothetical example, right? Let's say you got $1 million, you've done pretty well, you've saved some money, and boom, it's like an 08, 09, 50% market decline, right? You lose 500,000 of your money. It's 50%, okay? I'm telling you, when folks come into our office and we do a risk assessment on where they're at and how much risk they have, they've got 70 to 75% at risk in their portfolio and really have no idea. Well, now they do with what happened in the last couple of months, okay? But if some folks came in with a lot of risk because the market was doing what it's doing, right? And you may be that person on the other side over there watching this webinar that you were taking unnecessary risk because you were watching the market and you wanted to take part in those gains, and then boom, this hits and we lose a bunch of money. And that feeling when you're at the doorstep of retirement or you are retired doesn't feel too good, okay? So for instance, you got $1 million in the market, 50% decline, you got 500,000 remaining, right? Okay. Well, think about this. You think in your head, wow, I lost 50%. The next year, the market rebounds, I make 50%. What's 50% on 500,000, right? It's only 250,000. I've got 750,000. So I lost 50, made 50. I'm still down 250,000. That is the idea, is you have to position your portfolio to not lose as much. You can't afford it in retirement, because think about it. If you're pulling money out of your portfolio and we have depressed in our accounts, guess what? We're selling low. It's about making sure you got a portfolio where you can tap resources that haven't been hit by what the market has done. Okay. So think about it. $500,000, you lose 50%, you have 500, but you can need 100% market gain to achieve your $1 million balance again. How long would that take? So let's think about this. Make sure you're in position. And what I'm going to offer you today is Tracy's going to throw the offer up, 15-minute consult on a free risk analysis of, say, what kind of risk do I have in my portfolio? I always like to use the speed limit of how fast am I traveling in my portfolio? Am I going 75 down the highway? Am I going 25 down the highway, right? 75 means I'm taking a ton of risk. 25 means I'm going the back roads and I'm pretty conservative, right? How much risk do I have? If I wind it back to 08, 09, how much would I lose? You need to know that, okay? And need to figure out what's the best way to position you for the long haul. So we're offering you, go ahead and click on that. We'd love to have a phone call with you. I think you'll learn a lot. We'll learn about you. And then if you want to move to the next step and say, you know what, I love their approach. I had a really good connection, because it's really all about a connection, isn't it? All right. So it's funny. Another quote, Warren said is, you never know who's swimming naked until the tide goes out. Think about the logic of that, right? When the Wall Street decides to do what it did and the market decided what it did, you really didn't know how much risk you had until it actually really happened. So we want to share that with you. We want you to know that if anything, schedule a 15-minute call. We'll do an analysis for you. Just so free consultation, no hassle, no obligation to work with us to help you. Another quote, it's insane to risk what you have for something you don't need. So, number 2, minimize future taxes wherever possible. Let's think about this. We already talked about it at the beginning. Do we think taxes are going up? Stimulus package, maybe another one. We already are in big time debt. How are we going to pay for Social Security and Medicare? We think about that. How in the world are we paying for this? Taxes have to go up. So we have some good ideas that we think can help you. Okay. So you think about doing tax planning. Most folks, out there have a CPA, which most of you on this webinar probably work with a CPA, which is awesome. But what we've encountered in our business is most CPAs are tax preparers, right? And not tax planners. They tell you, they see what you've paid in for the year and figure out what you can get as a refund, right? For really most CPAs. Most aren't tax planners. Most aren't going to tell you, hey, you should take some money out of your IRA and put it in your Roth and pay some taxes so everything grows tax-free, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So the idea is really getting an idea on some tax ideas for the future that you can avoid paying Uncle Sam if we think taxes are going up. Okay. So let me ask the question. Do you think taxes are going up or taxes are going down? Right. Well, if you think taxes are simply going to go up in the future, let's prepare for it. Let's build a plan for it. Let's figure out, is there something we can do to get out of paying Uncle Sam? Think about this. We spent our whole entire life trying to not pay Uncle Sam, right? How many write-offs we can get? Can I write off this? Can I write off this? What kind of refund am I going to get? It's no different in retirement. How much can I not pay Uncle Sam, right? So if you think about a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, now some of you folks know these terms. Some of you may be a little bit foggy. You have no idea what those terms are. So let me just quickly refresh you. A traditional IRA or 401k is tax deferred, right? You don't pay tax. So you put your money in the traditional IRA, you don't pay taxes today. But when you pull it out after it grows, you pay taxes, right? And the Roth IRA is the complete opposite. I pay taxes today, and then everything I pull out at a later date at 59 and a half is tax-free. Pretty sweet, right? Most folks that come in to see us are super duper concerned about what their tax bill is going to be, especially when RMDs hit. You've been told your whole life, which is fine, which is good. It made you save, put money in your 401k or your IRA, not pay taxes. But now, boom, you've amassed this capital. And now you're worried about, oh my goodness, what am I going to pay in taxes, right? So let's talk about it. We like to use the term seed and harvest, right? Why do I share this picture with you? It's just an analogy between an IRA and a Roth IRA. See, a Roth, right? We're paying taxes on the seed, right? We're paying taxes today, and the whole gain is tax-free. But guess what about an IRA? Today, we're not paying any taxes, but when our account grows, just like our 401ks did, and we didn't pay any taxes, now that big, huge lump of money we have, we're paying full taxes on. So we want to give you an idea, okay, that you need to be thinking about. Do I want to pay taxes on a seed or the harvest? Because you can still change that, okay? I want you to think about moving money out of an IRA into a Roth IRA and simply start paying some of the taxes out of your Roth, out of your IRA into and moving it into your Roth and letting that grow tax-free. Okay. Let me show you a quick example. You think the markets are down still, right? And some of you may be down more than others. Okay. But the market, if you think about it, the Dow Jones is still at 25,000, still down 14 or 15%. So your accounts are probably still down. So if you were decided in February when the market was at an all-time high to convert some of your IRA money into a Roth, and you moved 100,000 into a Roth, you'd pay at a 24% tax bracket, you'd pay 24,000. Well, if you're invested heavily in the stock market and you lost 30% after March, you decided and you only had 70 left in your account, well, guess what? I'm still paying 24% in taxes, but I'm only paying 16,800 in taxes. And guess what's happening? On the rebound of the market, your accounts are going to start growing and you got a tax-free bucket. That's what we want our clients to think about. We want to think about building a tax plan for every single, it's part of our 5-step plan we do for every single person at our firm. It's looking at your tax situation to figure out what tax bracket are we in? How can we avoid paying taxes? Can we move money into that Roth bucket and pay some taxes today, and then everything else grows tax-free? It's an awesome idea. It's tax planning, which is super duper important. Okay. So action number 3, and we've only got a few more minutes, so bear with me. This is the best part, I think, of the presentation, is ensuring your foundation is solid, right? When we think about foundation, what do you think about? Most of us have probably built a house or have a house. I think about, we built a house, 6 or 7 years ago. And it's funny, they put those footers in, they put those walls in. It's not, it's nothing really great to see. But if you think about the foundation, you think about how important that is on your house, right? Because all your wood goes on there, all your bathrooms and granite and all that stuff. The foundation supports everything. So let's talk about foundation and what that means. Okay. Look at that. That's not my house, but so if you think about foundation, we like to say foundation is attributed to your income coming in, right? I heard someone say a long time ago about retirement, if you have no income, you have no retirement. Okay. So you think about, if you're at the doorstep of retiring, you are retired. Well, guess what? That paycheck you're having every single 15th and 30th or every 2 weeks, you're not getting that anymore. So you've got to figure out a way that you're going to get income for the rest of your life, no matter what happens to the market. And we're going to share with you how important that is. Okay. I share this crack. Most folks that come in to see us have no income plan. They have, I just told you, have an investment statement, and that's all they really have. They've got no real plan on how in the world do I take what I've worked hard for and how do I build a plan to take it from each bucket of money that I have in the most effective way. That is the most important thing I want to stress to you, is building a written retirement income plan. See, when folks come in to see us, they get their own personal dashboard that we use on our screen. Okay. And we get to see their whole life, their whole financial life of every account that they own on their own personal dashboard. And the awesome thing about this is we get to show them all their income sources, whether it be Social Security, maybe you are blessed to still have a pension. We get to see, how much money do we need to pull out of our investments to last the rest of our life? What if something happens like happened with this downturn in the market? What if something happens like an 08, 09? Are you going to be okay? I will tell you, with our clients that come in to see us, they are rest assured they will not run out of money. And that is our key focus here at our firm, is making sure our clients don't run out of money. Awesome. So if you are listening today, and we're going to wrap this up here in just a couple minutes, this is, my folks, is not a plan. Okay. This big, huge, long, extensive, of folders here, and people very rarely come in with a plan, but that's not a plan. We're going to give you the opportunity today for us to build an income plan for you, to show you how we do it, to take a look at what you have asset-wise, Social Security, possibly pension, and how we would build an income plan for you so you don't have to worry about that fear of running out of money. That's the most important. Wouldn't it be neat for you, envision this, to look at a screen and know where your income's coming from forever, and knowing that you're going to have it no matter what? What if something happens? If you're married and you're listening, and to your spouse, what if you went into a nursing home? What will happen with your assets to make sure everybody's going to live, or their money goes to who you want it to go to? So I'm going to have Tracy offer that 15-minute consult that you can hop on this webinar. And you can hop on this, click on that icon there, and just schedule a 15-minute call. Be awesome just to get to know you, to figure out how we can help you. Because think about it, your foundation is so important, and we get that at our office. So when you think about a retirement income plan, we talk about really 5 key things. When is it starting? Where is it coming from? In what order? Where do I take it from? How in the world is my income going to grow? How will it account for health issues? And how long will it last? Those are the questions I want you to be asking. And that's what we'll ask you when we talk. Okay. You may be worried, uncertain. We want to give you some clarity on what's going on with your life. Okay. One thing I want to tell you is I said this at the beginning. 98% of the people that come in our office, and we only do retirement planning. That's for the most part. That's all we do. We've seen hundreds and hundreds of people and have awesome clients that never came in with a plan. So you're not alone. Okay. And one thing for sure, it's not your fault. Most advisors out there focus on just investments. Okay. And they get paid good for it. Our goal here is, yes, we focus on investments, but our goal is building a plan for each and every one of our clients. So in times like these, when we call you on the phone, you're thinking, going, I'm so glad I put my plan in place. I'm so glad I took the step and did that. And that's what we're encouraging you to do today. Okay. So action number 3, schedule a call, get a written retirement income plan. Okay. Huge. So what'll happen during the 15-minute call? It'll be short. It'll be sweet. And if you want to move on to the next step, we can schedule either a Zoom meeting or our office is actually open, seeing clients, whatever is easier for you. But really the 15-minute phone call is to figure out what you need, what you want. Maybe you're worried about how much risk you have in your portfolio. Maybe you're worried about taxes. Maybe you're worried about, your income and where you're going to get it from and how long is it going to last. We can help you with that. And we can address that on the 15-minute phone call to really guide you in the right direction. But I think you'll notice at our firm here in Green, we're here to help. And that's really what we build our business on. So really our goal is to give you a peace of mind. So what I want to do in ending this webinar is I want to encourage you to schedule a call with us. I think it would be remarkable change in what you have going on right now. If you need a second opinion and you're just searching for answers and you need some hope and you need some love really from us and our firm, we're here to love on you. And we're here to help you because we take it very seriously on building plans for retirement. How do you end the slideshow? And then I'm going to close. And one more thing. So one more thing, click on the 15-minute call. I'd love to talk with you, speak with you. If something on there if you can't find a time, just message us and we'll find a time. But I really thank you so much for sitting down, watching this webinar. I hope we were able to give you some ideas, some action steps that you can do moving forward. We take it really seriously here, and thank you so much for joining.